You're on Black Girls Inc. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to part 2 of our interview with Author Carol. Hey, girl. And on this episode, we're going to get a little bit more personal and deep about her book as I tell you how chapters in her books helped me and ask her questions about it also, too. And we'll also do our tea time. So, y'all ready to get into it, ladies?
Yes, ma'am.
So, pull the book up, Mom. So, this is her book right here. Please make sure you purchase this book. I'm not leaving you. I'm loving you.
Loving me.
Well, I'm sorry, loving me. I'm not leaving you. I'm loving me.
Yes.
Which I am. I am. So, look. Sista Goose about to tell you her favorite chapters. I'm not going to tell y'all what it is about. If you want to know what it's about, you better get it yourself. But I'm going to say how it helped me. So first, let's talk about be what you need. Be what you need. That chapter got me. Okay? And I'm going to tell you why.
What did you need?
Because Sista Goose, it's not about what I needed. Okay. It's about what I realized of being what you need. That Sista Goose realized that I be what I need for so many other people.
Mm-hmm.
But in your chapter, you made me realize I'm not being what I need for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, okay. But she got into more detail of it, of explaining it in a way I could understand. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you want to get it from other people. And you get mad because they can't get it to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm realizing as I'm reading your book and I'm meditating on it that I can't expect people to give me something I need. I have to give it to myself.
Mm-hmm.
And how could I give it to myself if I don't have it for myself?
Right.
And what I mean by I don't have it for myself, I mean if I'm not loving myself enough, how am I supposed to give myself that love? Because lately, Sista Goose have been on this journey of getting back to loving herself. And your book is making me realize that.
Okay.
That's why I was saying your book is so good for Black women. But I'm hearing you talk about yourself, and it's making me reflect on me. And I just wanted to know, is that what you wanted, like, people to get when they read that chapter? Is that what you was going for?
Yes. So I wanted people to understand that before you can seek anything in others, you must have it for yourself. And so when we're constantly trying to find, stability, confidence, love, in our mates, how? Well, we don't have that for ourselves. Like we should come into relationships with, a clear mind, with our own love for ourselves, with our own self-trust. We should know our worth and value. We shouldn't go into relationships broken, looking for somebody to fix us. And so that's what I want people to really understand it from that chapter was about, that we have to work on ourselves before we can even think about being in relationships or getting help from somebody else. When we're broken and we're not in our best self, we're not in our right minds. We're not willing to listen or receive the help from others or the love. And sometimes, people do try to love us, but if we don't have love for ourselves, we're not going to accept it or accept it in the way that we need it to be.
Yeah. And look, I'm going to let you know, because when I was reading your chapters, and I advise this to anyone else, if you want to do it this way, you can. I love how, first of all, at the beginning of her book, and I will show you, I love how she tell you the name of her chapters. Is it this page? Where is it at? I got to remember my left is my right. So she tell her chapters right here.
Yes.
And this is why I love it. Because when I was starting with your book, I did not just start at chapter 1. I read the chapters, and I went to the one that captured me first. And I went that way. And then later on, I went back to the front one. So I thank you for putting it that way, because when I see it that way, I realize you're telling me that I can start in my own pace wherever I want.
Yeah.
And I thank you for that, because that's what I got when I saw that. And I'm guessing from your smile, that's what you wanted me to get.
Yes.
I
Well, a
got
lot of
that.
people
Go
feel like
ahead.
they have to start from the very beginning because you may be a different spot in your journey. You may need to work on forgiveness. So I have a chapter about that. Or you may need to work on, giving yourself love. And I have that, be what you need chapter. I have the chapter about recognizing it's time for you to get out the butt and get to work and do it.
Mm-hmm.
I have that chapter about recognizing danger. So I didn't want people to feel like they had to just jump in from page one.
Right.
Because I had debated about listing my chapters, and then I thought, well, no, I'm going to go ahead and put a table of content in this because I want people to look at it and then go for whatever chapter they felt like they needed to read for them. Because you can still get the gist of my story from starting at any chapter of the book. You don't have to start from chapter one to understand my journey and my purpose.
Yes, but look, chapter 1, it still goes in. Because when I did go to chapter 1 and I read it, who am I? How powerful that is now to me.
Mm-hmm.
So who am I when he was reading it and stuff? And I went through that stage myself of the things she was talking about because a lot of times we try to be what I got from it as I was reading about you and your parents. And I love my parents. Luckily, I had both of my parents in my life and stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
But I just noticed as I was reading that from my point, and this is not her point. Like I said, this is my point. I ain't telling y'all about the book. Read it yourself. From my point, when I was reading Who Am I was realizing that when I was growing up and trying to figure out myself, I was trying to be who my parents wanted me to be. And it really crushed me in my life when I had to drop out of school. I talked about that before. But your Who Am I made me have to face that again. How I really had a hard time of being disappointed in myself because I could not be who my parents wanted me to be. From what I felt. Not saying that they said I had to be that, but as children, you're putting what you think your parents want you to be. Sometimes they don't have to tell you specifically, but that's what you put in your own mind.
Yes.
And that's how I felt with me. And then I felt like I really wanted at that moment to make my parents proud. And I missed out on that moment of walking across that stage, of having my parents there. Sista Goose ain't gonna cry, but I'm just saying. But that's what the book made me reflect on. And then I was realizing how, I need to build myself on who I want to be. Who am I? Not for who my parents want me to be, but who am I? And it's said that now, as I read your book, I'm just now really figuring out who I am. Because all these years I had to be something for somebody else. I had to be that daughter. I had to be that sister. Later on, I had to be that mother, becoming that wife. I had to be something for everybody else. And now I got to that point in my life of who am I? And I love how her book and it's really got me. And I'm gonna ask you this question. In your book, you even talk about midlife crisis. First of all, I did not know that was real for women. I thought that it was only for men because in the movies and stuff, they always show men going through it.
Yeah.
And in your book, you showed me it happens to women too, because then I went through it too. And I thought there was something wrong with me. I was like, I'm just depressed. It's a depressing phase. So how old, I don't want you to give too much away from the book, but how old was you when you went through your midlife crisis stage?
I am 38 now. So I was probably between I had my first son at 27, so my daughter at 32, between like 32-ish. After I had my daughter, it's really when it hit me. It was like, oh, I needed to do something myself. And then I felt like I hadn't done enough at that point in my life. I had my children, and I talk about this in the book about, I gravitated towards this life manual. When you get told, oh, you're supposed to have your kids by 30, you need to be a homeowner, you should be in your career. I had all these things that I had a time set on, but it wasn't my timetable. And because I was working on this life manual, I end up getting myself into more trouble, more disappointment, being unhappy because it wasn't my manual. I was living off of somebody else's timetable. And so when I got into my mid 30s, I was just like, okay, I'm over it. I'm not married. I'm still going in and out of, relationships that are not fulfilled are not being fulfilled for me. I didn't do something with myself. I'm about to turn 40 in 2 years. I just want to be somewhere in a place where I'm just happy, just happy. I don't want to do anything else differently. I don't want to go on anything extravagant and do all these things that people think you should do, like go travel the world when you hit mid 30, you know what I'm saying? Or go buy a whole bunch of stuff. I just want to be in a place where I am just happy. I'm mentally and emotionally happy. I'm physically well. My children are taken care of and they have their basic needs and everything. So that's where I want to get to, that point where I'm just completely in awe of myself, and not looking to be in awe because somebody else is telling me to be in awe.
Yeah, look, I'm feeling that. And is your daughter your youngest daughter? Like, well, is that your youngest child?
Yes. So my son is 12, and then my daughter will turn 5 in November.
Yeah, I'm asking you that because, and Mom, you can tell me if this happened to you. I'm asking you that because mine's happened after I had my youngest. That's when I got too close to when he was about 2. I started hitting my midlife crisis at 27, and I didn't realize that that's what it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was a serious depression. Okay. And I thought that midlife crisis didn't happen until he was like close to 40, 45. So when this was happening to me and I was getting to that stage of, dang, is this it? Is this all I got to show for my life? Like, I got 2 babies. I'm still taking care of my mom. I'm not doing nothing with my life. This and that. Because that's how I started writing my book of trying to get back to that self-love of me, of doing something for me. But I didn't realize that it was real, like, until I read your book. And I realized, so it is midlife crisis. So it's not just me that was feeling that way. Yeah, because for real, because I feel like, and this is why I love your book, and this is why I said I feel like you're going to change history. I feel like it's something that's unspoken among Black women. We do not talk about the midlife crisis thing. They did not explain this whole motherhood thing to me. They already got us angry. We don't want to add no more. I know. Well, yeah, my mom said because they already got us angry. They don't want to add no more. But I'm just saying, I don't feel like it was completely explained to me of what it really was like as being a Black woman who becomes a mother and how that stage hits you. It's like a secret, like postpartum. They kept that a secret.
Yeah, even if they tell you, it might not be the same.
Yeah, say it again louder, Mom, so I get what you're saying.
Even if we would have told you, sometimes it still wouldn't be the same because everybody's look different.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. I do agree that everybody's look different.
You might not notice it.
But I wished that it was more talked about so when it happens, I wouldn't be quiet about it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I don't know that this is normal. So I'm thinking something's wrong with me.
Right.
So I don't want to tell anybody that I'm going through this phase. And then when I tell my mom, then she's like, well, I went through that too after you, because I'm the youngest child. She was like, after you, I went through that too. But I'm thinking it had something, where I'm just having something like my mom had.
Yeah.
I was like, well, you're my mother. Okay. But to hear you say it, I feel like you're breaking the silence of what Black women go through that we don't talk about. Right. We don't talk about this stage.
I think it's because we have that stigma on us that we're supposed to handle everything. We don't need help. And I'm so glad that we're now having conversations about, getting a therapist, and we're talking to people, and we're looking for ways to self-care and self-help ourselves. That is so important because for so long in our families, things were kept secret, or it was like, girl, you crazy, you'll get over it. It's something wrong with you. Right. And it's like, yeah, there is something wrong with me, and I want to fix it. And I can fix it with ginger ale and, Tylenol. I need something else besides that. And so I'm hoping that when people read this book as well, that they understand that if you need help, ask for it and go get it. Don't sit in your room silent, crying every night, trying to fix it, self-medicate yourself. It's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to go get that help, because it's going to help you be a better person. And, I talk about that in my book. If you're in a place in your life where you think that you're ready to check out, honey, go talk to somebody, because your life is vital. Especially you have kids, they need you in their lives.
Exactly.
Your family needs you. So don't just sit and drill in that mess. It's okay to talk to somebody else. And I'm so glad that we're having that conversation now about mental health in the Black community and how important it is to, step out of the household. Yes, you can go talk to a pastor, but sometimes you need more than a pastor. You need somebody who really, went into that work and can really help you get over that. I love God and he hears my cries, but I may need something else besides just that word in the Bible. And I think in our Black community, we just figure, that's all I gotta do is pray on it, pray on it, pray on it. Yes, I do want to pray on it, but I also would like to be able to talk to somebody else, about what I'm going through and get their input and get, some things from them that I can do to help myself along with my prayer and my meditation.
Right.
And God made all the things we need. He made the therapist. He made the medicine. He made that because he knew we had these problems. That's what I tell people who be trying to tell other people that stuff. I be like, he made all these things for a reason. So you could have that resource. So you could get that help. And I'm glad you said that it's okay to go see a therapist. And I'm also going to say that it's okay to take medicine if you need it.
Right.
Because Sista Goose was one of them people who had to take medicine because she needed it. Especially when she was having her kids. I had postpartum so bad. So bad. It was just terrible. And I had to take medicine. And when the doctor was giving me the medicine, he was like, you need to take this. It's going to help you feel better. And I'm laughing him off like a joke, like, ain't no medicine going to help me feel better. Black people don't take no medicine.
Right.
We're going to get up. We're going to keep going. We're going to be all right. That's what I was telling myself until I couldn't function. I couldn't keep getting myself up anymore.
Yes.
I couldn't keep going on with my daily routine. I couldn't do the stuff I used to do. And then I'm sitting around looking around my house and everything, and I'm like, what happened to me? You get that pause moment where you're thinking, where did I go?
Right.
What happened to me? I don't see
When
her
did you check out?
anymore.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
When did you
you
check
check out? Because I never even noticed the date or time.
Mm-hmm.
And I started taking that medicine, and that medicine started helping me where I could be the best mother I could be for my babies.
Right.
And play with them and be present. Because it's different than to just be there and you're not present.
You're present. Amen.
You know what I'm saying? Where I can see them, I'm acknowledging them, I'm playing with them instead of being a dead zombie in the room while they're playing and have to play with each other and I'm not giving them no attention.
Right.
So it's okay, y'all. This book shows you it's okay. Depression's real. Midlife crisis is real. And the sources are out there, like she said. And we're breaking the chain with this book right here. We're not going to be silent about it anymore.
Nope.
We're going to open up and talk about it. And when my daughter's growing up, I'm going to make sure she knows, you know what? This does happen after you have a kid.
Yes.
You will hit that part of midlife crisis where you're going to feel like you're a failure and you didn't accomplish your goals. And you know what? That's okay.
Right.
So that's what I got. Look, give her a snap for that. I got to thank you for that because you breaking that cycle of doing that for Black women. So please make sure y'all get this book.
Please.
Get this book.
Yes.
So you can see what Sista Goose is talking about. So let's get down to our tea time question. Oh my goodness, I forgot my bell. Give me 2 seconds. It's time for
Tea time.
the tea time question.
Shut up, cups.
Yes.
Cups.
Good. So the tea time question is where we make a question based off of the book of the author. We see your cut, Mom. We base it off of the book of the author. Either we use just from the information we get from the back, or we use the title or what the character is about, just to make a topic to talk about freely. So today, from your title, because I didn't really want to make it off of nothing I read, because I read the book, so I didn't want to give too much wet. So from your title, I made up the question for tea time. What was a hard thing you had to let go to better yourself? What was a hard thing you had to let go to better yourself?
Good question. I had to let go the idea that I could change somebody. I had this since I was young, that I could do things that would help others, to change them and make them better people. I've always been the person that people ran to when things happen to fix it. And I had to let that go, that I cannot fix everything. I cannot be the agent of change for everyone. I have to allow God to come in and do the work on them, because I cannot do it any longer. Trying to help everybody and fix everybody was damaging me in the process. And so I had to let that go and be okay with that, with the fact that I won't be able to help everybody or, promote change in everyone. As long as I'm doing the work and changing me, that's making all the difference.
Exactly. You want to go, Mom?
Yeah. Mine is, tell a little secret about your mama.
Tell a secret, Sugar
My
Mama.
secret is that I love to do hair. I went to school to do hair. When I was younger in middle school, I used to do, you go swimming. After swimming, the girls would braid their, I would braid their after swimming. So whenever I got graduated from high school, I went to beauty school. I got my license. But then after I did it, I had a shift change where I had to do something else. And it broke my heart that I had to do something else, but it didn't pay the bills. So I had to get another job. Let that one go for a minute and work over here to get a job to make everything go together. And that's what I did. I let it go. I was still kind of doing it, but not the way I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
I had to let it go.
Hey, you did our hair. Our hair was did up.
Right.
Micros and everything. Something I had to let go to better myself was my ex. Your book definitely made me had to reflect on that, because that's a part of my past I don't really like to talk about.
Right.
I've been with that person for 9 years, off and on, since middle school to high school to young adulthood. And I just knew we was going to be together forever. I tried to change him, as you say. I put up with the BS and just was always forgiving. And I'm like, I can change him. He going to change for me. My saying that I would even say with my friends is, I'm going to change his life. Like, I was there like that all the time. We would laugh, but I wasn't changing it. He was the same fool he was when I was with him. When I was in middle school, and he was the same fool when we got older. And it didn't change. And it was just like, you know what? You got to let him go. He ain't going to love you the way you want him to love you.
Right.
He's not going to appreciate you the way you want him to.
Right.
And at the same time, I can't be mad, because he was showing me his true colors. And if somebody show you who they are, I can't be mad that I keep coming back and keep taking them back after 20, 50 million times.
Right.
But I'm so glad that I let him go, and I took that break for me, because once I let him go, God sent me my fiance, who I have 2 beautiful children with. And I'm glad I took that break for me, and I didn't rush, like you said in your book. Some people rush into the relationship, to get over another one. And I'm so glad I didn't do that with my fiance, because he was trying to get with me. But I was like, no, I need this break. We can date. We can go out on dates and stuff, but you ain't my boyfriend. No, we chilling,
Right.
But I had to let that go to find real love, for somebody to really appreciate me and not to settle for less.
Right.
And I would not have been able to go through all the life challenges and stuff God brought me through now if I was with that person. I'm meant to be with who I'm with. That is my person. I'm meant to be with who I'm with. That is my rock right there. When I'm not 100, he's 1,000, and I'm grateful. And if I did, I'm glad I let him go, because if I didn't, I would have never met the wonderful man I'm with now. So thank you.
I love that. That's the whole point of, once you realize that, you are letting your insecurities and fears to distract you from what God has for you. When you realize that and you start to let things go, don't he show up and show out?
Yes.
I mean, he shows up as soon as you realize. It's so important to understand. I want women to understand this too. You're not stupid. You're not dumb. You're not worthless because you went through this with certain people in relationships. That's being in love, right? That's, people do way worse than we've done in our relationships. So don't feel bad for giving more than you should have gave into a person. That happens. So don't feel bad for that. And don't think because you did all that for one person, you're not going to get love from somebody else, because God is going to pick somebody for you. Once you realize that you need to let go and let God, he shows up and shows out. He shows up and shows out. It's up to us to make that step, though, right? We can't depend on that person to leave. Why they leave us? They get what they need. They're not going to just step out, right? We have to make the decision and the choice, to let go and let God. I always tell my friends that, let go and see what happens. Change happens. It's great. And it may not happen today or tomorrow. It may take some time, but trust the process, but also apply the progress. When you make that step and you start letting things go, trust that you can still do it day by day. And every day that you do something different for yourself and you feel a little bit more love for yourself, snap for yourself, apply the progress, because that's what matters. You took the step to change and you're still working on yourself daily. You're doing things to make yourself feel good and be present for your kids and for your family and for the people that you love. That is so important. And, I would say, sometimes God denies us things because he knows we deserve better.
Say that. Well, look, please let them know where they can go to get your book and where they can go to follow you. The platform is yours. Please let them know the information they need.
Yeah, so you can get my book on Amazon.com. I'm Not Leaving You, I'm Loving Me by Carla E. Criswell. There she is. I am on Facebook as Carla Eileen, Eileen. Or you can follow me on Instagram. I'm there at The Professor, THAPROFESSOR 82. So those are two places that you can follow me. I would love for your feedback. If you want an autographed copy of my book, you can inbox me on Facebook, and I can make that happen for you. I'm super excited.
Yes. So please, everyone, please support our sister. Buy her book. I'm Not Leaving You, I'm Loving Me. And I promise you, you will not regret it. It's a good read. If you want to just read a chapter once a week or something, just to work on yourself and just listen and hear her journey, because that's all it's really about. And you can help and reflect on yourself. Please read her book.
Please.
And you know what this means now, right, girl?
What, girl?
I mean, you are officially a Black Girls Inc. member.
Yes.
Which means this will not be the last time we see you. You are more than welcome to come back whenever you're ready to release your other books. And I would really love for you to come back in February. We'll talk about it later down the line, because I want to do a week called The Black Woman Struggle, where we will have women come on here and we will talk about our struggle for Black History Month.
Amen.
And I'm definitely going to make you one of the women that will be on that panel.
And I'll be there, girl, zone. Thank you. I appreciate you. I love your spirit. You and Sugar Mama. I love y'all. Sending hugs from Kentucky. Thank you for having me on your show.
Yes, you are so welcome. All right, everyone. I'm your girl, Sista Goose.
And I'm Sugar Mama.
Please make sure you go support our girl Carol and buy her book, I'm Not Leaving You, I'm Loving Me. And we are Black Girls Inc. Snap you later. Here on Black Girls Inc.